Hello, it's Iseto coming at you with another video. This video is just going to be on presence, awareness, and how that's the only real thing that you really have. You have control over. Like, you can't control anything else. You can't control the things that happen to you, but you can control the way that you react to them. You can control your body, and you can get it as flexible and as strong and fast as possible. But ultimately, that's about it. You can only control yourself, and through that comes a peace and a serenity and a surrender to the external realm, which would be people's cause of depression and cause of anxiety is being stuck in either the past or the future and dreading it, but understanding that there's different ways to execute what you're gonna go through. People dread it, but you don't have to dread. Dread is like anxiety, and depression is like sulking or being hung up on the past and letting it affect you now. Ultimately, all these affect you now, and you're really thinking about everything but the now. And when you bring your attention to your breath or to anything else, so just completing a task as simple as tying your shoe and being with it 100% as much as you can, you accomplish something, you give yourself a little dopamine hit for accomplishing something and staying in the now. And you work out the things that were affecting you mentally in a physical space. You transmute the energy into the now. And through that, you're able to get past it in a different way. You're able to learn something. It sounds ridiculous that you could do something like tying your shoe and getting past something that's been bothering you mentally for maybe weeks or years, but it is tying what you feel to the now, being so self-aware of what you are experiencing, what you're feeling, and knowing yourself ultimately. Because when you know yourself, you know what is going to happen. You know what you're going to respond to a situation. You're not afraid of reacting. You're not afraid of stepping out of your own line and your own comfort zone. You're okay being uncomfortable, and you know you won't lose your cool. And in that comes true power when you know yourself. And so one thing that I say that I like to know in my head is nobody, you're not in competition with anybody. You're only in competition with yourself. But everybody's stuck in an ego trip where everybody's trying to be the most attractive or the most muscular, all these things, the most followed person, whatever. And ultimately you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for other people. And that is gonna never really fulfill you ever. It's an empty achievement. And doing things for oneself is not posting a picture or something to get likes. It's looking at yourself and being present with yourself and getting past thinking real quick. It's just important to always stay present. Even when working out things from the past or anxieties of the future, it's important to always stay as present as possible. Like forgetting things, that comes from like two up here. When you're in the present, the thing that you want to talk about, you are going to get to it if the intention was so strong and all the thoughts and ideas connected. The whole not being in competition with another person is very important. It's just understanding that like what you got, nobody else is really meant to have that. Nobody else is able to withstand the pressure and the placement of the existence of what is you. So, like what I mean is, you may get the same thing from somebody. I mean, as somebody, like somebody could have a basketball in their hand. That basketball is capable of different things inside of your hand versus my hand. In that same regard, like if you were to want everything that I have, if you were to want to be somebody, or you were jealous of that feature of somebody, or like just know that if you had it, it would not mesh with what you have, what you need to learn mentally. Like it's not going to fulfill you. There's a reason you feel jealous, and there's a reason you think that like they're in competition with what you deserve and what you really will ultimately just have naturally by leading through a life of presentness and non-expectation, just honesty and selflessness. Because when you're selfless, you're giving without expecting to receive. But trust me, you will receive. You will receive. It is always on its way. Nobody can live the life that's yours, and that's the most comforting thing. Like in the ups and the downs, like nobody can deal with the things that you've dealt with in the down. Nobody has experienced the ups that you've felt. It's completely subjective to you, and in between you and God. I'm merely just talking about the processes of going through it. And even that is slightly different for you, but in the same way, it's like you still have to look at yourself. The way you look at yourself may be very different and vastly different, but it is still the thing. It's still the truth. There's still a fragment of inherent truth. Everything is technically a half-truth, because not every single thing, but every truth is technically a half-truth, because you can explain something away until it's defined in a completely different way. You're not even looking at it as to receive the answer of the truth. You're just describing something that divides it into further subsections and so on and so on. Yeah. I don't know what would this be. The importance of presence, always staying as present as possible, staying as present as possible on your breath, on your form. One major thing that I think will help anybody is always being conscious of these like forehead muscles, and never really reacting when something happens, but responding. And for the longest time, when I was like in middle school and high school, there was my signature like picture face that I was so unconscious of, but I would be like, and I would raise my eyebrows because I just unconsciously did that for smiling in pictures instead of just, it's ultimately when you smile, only your mouth is flexing, like, and your ears are relaxing and everything else is relaxing. So just want to always remain relaxed. And you could be angry, you could be directed, just directing your energy with controlling this, directing your emotions by controlling this. And ultimately you are the one with control of it. You can excuse someone else as much as you want and say they made me feel this way, but ultimately you made yourself feel that way. All right, like, subscribe, comment, and do all that good stuff, and catch you in the next video.